Hi everyone, and thank you for choosing the annual financial dashboard. In this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step on how to set up and use the template. This dashboard is designed to help you track your income and expenses for a single year and generate clean, professional financial reports and dashboards. Before we begin, a quick note on protected cells. Some cells in this template are protected to prevent formulas and automated links from being changed. In the Google Sheets version, if you attempt to edit a protected cell, you will see a warning like this. Click Cancel or X. If you are using Excel, those cells will be locked and you will not see this prompt. It will not allow you to edit the cells. While you can unlock the protections, I strongly recommend leaving them in place to avoid breaking formulas. If you prefer stricter protection and want to prevent any accidental overrides, the Excel version is usually the better option. With that, let's begin with the Inputs tab. First, you will begin by entering your company name or your personal name if you're using it for personal budgeting purposes. Next, you want to input your year. This is a one-year dashboard, so you will enter a single reporting year. Next, you want to select your start month. In most cases, you can leave this as January. This is only applicable if your fiscal year differs from your calendar year. Then you can select your profit and loss statement name. And lastly, you're going to copy and paste your currency symbol directly into this input cell here, and it will update throughout the workbook. The final section is your helper notes. These are guides and notes placed throughout the workbook. You can hide or show the helper notes using this little toggle. This is helpful when you're printing or preparing for a presentation. In Excel, it works a little bit differently and you have to input yes in the space provided. Next is your account setup. So this can be bank accounts, credit cards, savings accounts, or any other accounts you want to track cash flows for. You can rename them however you like, but you have up to 10. We will talk about this feature towards the end of the tutorial. To the right is your budgeting section. This is a simple monthly net income target. You can input your net income amount for each month from January through December. For this demonstration, I have put $5,000 each for each month. This is a high-level progress tracker, and if you're looking for something more detailed, I recommend the one-year comprehensive financial dashboard. This version is intentionally kept simple and focused on results. Next, you're going to see your categories. We're going to set up our expense and income categories here. You will see 6 different sections. The blue cells represent your main categories. Under each main category, there are up to 15 subcategories. These subcategories roll up into the main category in your dashboards and reports. The first section is your income category. You can rename this to match your business requirements as long as it represents your income source. So for example, you can rename this to revenues instead of income. And below, you can enter up to 15 revenue subcategories. Next is your cost of goods sold section. This is completely optional. If you do not have cost of goods sold, you can go ahead and remove any inputs in this cell. For the purposes of this demonstration, I will clear the contents from these cells, assuming I don't have cost of goods sold. Next, you have your 4 main expense categories. Again, these can be renamed to fit your business. By default, we have general and admin, sales and marketing, salaries and payroll, and other items. And similar to the others, you have up to 15 subcategories that roll up into each main category. A few important notes before we begin. Once you begin entering transactions, try not to rename subcategory or subcategory names. If you do need to rename it, then I do have an error tracking built into the income and expense logs to update your transactions. I will show you how this works shortly. Next, you can add any new subcategories as your business grows throughout the year at any time, as long as it does not exceed 15 per category. And last, each category name should be unique. In Google Sheets, a red triangle will appear if there is an issue. These categories drive formulas throughout the workbook, so accuracy is important here. Here you'll see the red triangles. I'm going to go ahead and remove the duplicate value. Just a reminder, all categories shown are pre-populated examples. You can fully customize them before you begin using the template. For this demonstration, I will go ahead and add storage income under the revenue section and accounting fees in the general and admin section. Let's move on to the chart of accounts. This tab is automatically generated from the Inputs tab. There are no manual input cells here, and this is important. Do not edit this tab. Changing anything here will break formulas throughout the workbook. Anytime you update the Inputs tab, the chart of accounts will update automatically, and you will see all of your main categories and subcategories listed here. In the demonstration, I added storage income in the Inputs tab and also accounting fees, which have now been populated here. Now let's move on to the income log. This is where you input all of your income transactions. You must input a valid date. If I do a typo or I input an invalid date, this error will come up. This will force you to always have a valid date entry. Next is the amount, which is mandatory. Sales tax rate, which is optional, only if you're using the sales tax reporting tab, but you can leave it blank if you do not need it. Description is also optional. Account is also optional if you're using the account reconciliation tab. So here I will select bank account 1. And here you will see all of your subcategories. And the newly created storage income is right here. To the right is the error checking system built into the log. So for example, if I want to rename storage income, I have to go back into the Inputs tab. And I'm going to go ahead and rename it to say storage and warehousing income. Since I renamed it, this will actually break the links in the dashboard. And this is common for a lot of templates. But what I have here is an error checking system to make sure that the transactions are always linked. It will say warning, invalid category and or subcategory. And at the top here, it will give you the number of category issues. And this is useful when you have hundreds and thousands of transactions listed in the income log. So I'm going to go ahead to fix this. You simply need to reselect and click the updated subcategory. And now this transaction is linked. Let's move on to the expense log, which works very similar to the income log. So I'm going to go ahead and input the date, the amount, the optional sales tax rate, the optional bank account. And here the distinction is it has a category and subcategory. So you'll see your 4 main expense categories here, and it will also include cost of goods sold if we were using it, and then your subcategory. And here I see my newly created accounting fees. And to the right, you'll see the warning came up, and this is because I don't have category and subcategory selected at this time, but once I select both, that warning will disappear. I recommend reviewing the error log on a regular basis and clearing all issues before reviewing your dashboards. This helps to prevent missing transactions in your financial dashboards. Let's move on to the profit and loss statement. The statement updates automatically based on your Inputs tab and uses a condensed format. Each section will show up to 7 subcategories by default. If you have more than 7, then this little sign will come here and it will tell you to click the plus to see your additional categories. I'm going to go ahead and click this plus sign. This warning will appear, and this is the only time I recommend clicking OK. And you'll see your storage and warehousing income. Excel handles this a little bit better. If you want to expand and collapse rows, there is no warning message. Finally, on cost of goods sold, you'll see in the Inputs tab we had removed the entire section. So all I would recommend is that you click the rows related to cost of goods sold and gross profit. You're going to right click and click hide rows, and again the warning will appear and you can click OK. If you want to hide your helper notes for printing purposes, go back to the Inputs tab and click your little toggle. And if you go back into the profit and loss statement, you'll see all of your helper notes will disappear. Now let's move on to the monthly dashboard. All transactions from the income log and expense log populate here automatically. For this walkthrough, I will actually switch to the fully populated example included with your purchase. You can find the link to this in the README tab. So here I have the drop-down menu to select the month, and I have selected February. At the top are a summary of your key metrics for the current month that you have selected, and in teal at the bottom is your prior month. So in this situation, it would be February 2025, and the prior month would be your January 2025 numbers. To the left, you have your progress towards your monthly net income target, pulling from your budget section. And below that, you have your expense allocation by main category, and it includes cost of goods sold if you have it. To the right are your 5 income allocations and your top 5 expense distribution amounts. In the center here is your monthly trend chart. All 12 months are built in, The selected month is highlighted and the other ones are grayed out for comparison purposes. I'm going to go ahead and select June, and you'll see that only June will be highlighted. Down here you have your detailed monthly amounts by subcategory in your chart of accounts line items. Here you'll see the 15 income categories ranked from highest to lowest and up to 75 expense subcategories including cost of goods sold. Next, we're going to move on to our annual dashboard, and this provides a full year summary instead of a single month. You'll see it's a very similar layout, so I won't go through it in detail. The only key difference here is you'll see in the middle you have a monthly summary which shows all of your months highlighted. It will show your revenue, expenses, and net income. And right above it is a chart with the numerical values. Let's move on to the Account Reconciliation tab. This tab helps you monitor bank accounts, credit cards, and any other accounts that you set up in the Inputs tab. White cells or input cells, like grays, are automated. First, you will have to input the opening balance here. You'll see that the cash inflows and outflows automatically pull from the income and expense logs. And I have a section here that's also in white, and you can input any reconciling items such as transfers or manual adjustments. You'll see that it will calculate your ending balance, and you can verify this amount to your external statement. Once you have reviewed it, you can mark the account as reconciled. In Excel, this will be a drop-down menu labeled Reconcile. Your last tab here is your sales tax reporting. This tab will automatically populate all sales tax collected from the income log and sales tax paid from the expense log and calculate your net tax. There's a visual chart at the bottom. You can use this to assist with your sales tax reporting for the year. That brings us to the end of the walkthrough. Once this template is set up, it's very easy to maintain. If you ever have any questions or need help, feel free to reach out. If you're interested in the customization, send me a message and we can discuss your needs. Thank you again for your purchase, and I hope this dashboard helps you gain clarity, control, and confidence in your finances.